Hi, I'm Carrie Lee with Burleson Orthodontics, and on this episode of Chef's Corner, we're bringing you another recipe and some quick tips you can use at home for delicious meals that are also braces friendly. Today we're with Chef McBride, personal chef and owner of Private Chef. Chef McBride combines his expertise in gourmet food with the science of nutrition. Today, Chef McBride will show us how to make some braces-friendly gummies. So, let's get cooking.
We do have some gummies today. We're going to do a few different flavors. We're going to do a black cherry, we're going to do some raspberry, and we have a pineapple as well. Since we're very close to the Halloween festivities, we've got a few different Halloween cutouts that we can use for the kids. We have cutters for this, and if you happen to have candy molds, chocolate molds at home, you're more than welcome to use those as well. And it's a great thing for the kids to get involved with. It's, again, as I mentioned, simple, and everybody loves a fruity snack. And this is certainly one that you mentioned earlier is braces friendly. The beauty of gelatin and Jell-O and fruit juice is that it just simply melts in your mouth. Right. So we just have basic saucepan we're going to use. We're going to measure out some juice. Okay. I believe 2/3 of a cup. Okay. We're going to measure out and simply pour right into the saucepan. Okay. If you find that you like your gummies a little more firm, you could always add more gelatin. But for this particular application, we're going to use 2 packs per box. Each package of gelatin is 1/4 ounce. Everyone's familiar with Jell-O. We all grew up with it. We're simply just going to add the gelatin into the apple juice, and then we're going to do what they call a bloom with
like a flower bloom?
With the gelatin. We actually activate the gelatin by letting it sit with the Jell-O. Okay. I get Jell-O and gelatin mixed up. There's a wordplay there somewhere. We're just going to I'm going to add 3 packs of gelatin. Okay. To the 2 boxes. You know what? Let's add 4. Okay. How about that?
I lost count. 1, 2, there we go. Okay.
You've only got 4.
That makes it easier.
Makes it very easy. So far you're with me.
So do I need to add another box of gelatin?
Absolutely.
Okay.
You'll add 2 boxes.
I mean of Jell-O.
Yes. See, now you're doing it. All right, that's it. Inexpensive too. Very, very inexpensive.
It's like a couple bucks.
Compared to what these things cost.
The brand name? Yeah. We give it a stir yet?
We're just going to let it sit there for a few minutes, and then we're going to bring the heat up a bit, and then we'll stir it together. Just going to simply incorporate everything together, make it one homogeneous mixture. Make sure we heat it enough so that all of the Jell-O and the gelatin dissolve thoroughly. We don't want to incorporate too many air holes. Oh. That's why we're just
rambunctious with my stirring.
We're using just some simple strokes, and you don't want to use a whisk. That's why I recommend using the spoon. That way we when we go to pour it, we incorporate less air, and you won't have those bubbles. So you can feel the texture. You can almost feel it with your spoon as well.
Now, do you just have to use apple juice? Are there other juices you can incorporate?
Definitely. You could use grape juice. Okay. You could use lemon juice. Which will give it a nice bite to the candy itself. And then what I like to do for those kids that like the sour, if you're familiar with sour, like the Sour Patch Kids.
Yes, the
they're one of my favorites. You could simply buy citric acid. Okay. In a powdered form.
And that's in every supermarket. It's easy to find.
You can find citric acid, and then what you do is while they're a bit damp, what you do is in the mold, simply just take a little spray bottle with a little bit of water and just sprinkle the citric acid on it, and then you've got the sweet and sour there. So as we mentioned, we have a few different cutouts that we're going to do. Since we don't have a mold for the gelatin, what we're going to do is we're going to simply pour it in a sheet pan.
Okay.
And we have a glass container as well.
Now to keep it from sticking, do you do anything?
There's a few different things that you can do. For this application, what we'll use is a basic pan spray.
Okay.
Pam, I believe, is one that we have. The other that you can use when you have the acrylic molds is a little bit of cornstarch, just simply brushing it with a pastry brush on the bottom, just to keep it from sticking. What I like to do once I take them out of the mold, I like to just cut them out, which we're going to do here. Again, as we mentioned, we have a few different cutouts. We've got some Halloween cutouts. We have a bat. We have some pumpkin. We have a black cat. We have an apple.
Which would be nice, because you can't do apples when you actually have braces.
This is true. So you do get to eat your apple, regardless of what your dentist says.
And with the apple juice.
Definitely. And the other thing that you could do with these as well is you could certainly take plastic saran wrap and just layer the bottom of it as well. But we're just going to give this just a really light coating. You can see how everything's really starting to
It's all combined really well.
come together.
Very little work.
Very much.
A little bit of stirring.
Now, depending on the size of your molds, that's going to tell you how much of the liquid that you're going to need.
Now, should this boil or no?
We won't bring it up to a boil, but we're just going to let it simmer for just a few minutes.
Okay.
Again, just to make sure that everything gets through.
The bloom.
Everything dissolves, exactly. Going to turn off our heat now. Let this just go ahead and sit. The residual heat is enough to finish it off.
Now this is good for kids. I mean, kids that are getting braces are generally a little bit older, so they could totally help you do this.
Oh, most definitely.
And younger brothers and sisters can help cut out.
I completely encourage the kids being a part of the process as well. Definitely. And they do go fast, I have to tell you.
Imagine.
Especially in my house. And I'm not going to say it's because of the kids, but I like them. Great thing about them, you can put them in small plastic bags. The kids can take them to school, take them as a snack, and it is a lot better for you than anything that you can purchase in the market for sure.
So these don't need to be refrigerated after. Like if they went to school, those 4 hours until lunch are fine.
No, they're absolutely fine.
Okay.
In a plastic baggie, they're perfect.
Perfect.
All right.
Fantastic.
So I think what we'll do now, we've got our. You can see here, we've got everything nice and combined. We're just going to simply take it, and we're just going to lay it out into our sheet pan. Now you can see, probably we'll keep a little bit of this down towards the end, a little bit more. And we're just going to simply let them cool for a few minutes at room temperature. To speed the process up, you could always place the pan right in your freezer.
Okay.
Or in your refrigerator. And we'll wait for 10 or 15 minutes and we'll come back to them. So we're back with our gummy fruit, and what we're going to do now is we're going to remove it from our glass container that we used to firm it up with, and we're simply going to take some cornstarch, a bit of cornstarch, we're going to lay it down on our surface, and this is going to help prevent it from sticking a bit. There's a few other tricks to this that you can use as well. If you have a brush, you could certainly just lightly brush it. We'll take our pumpkin cutter, make sure we get the cutting side, and we're just going to cut out our little pumpkins. And we're going to set them right there. Look at that. Very nice. Okay. We'll make a few of those. Just go ahead and place them in a plastic bag or a candy jar for the kids. Just go ahead.
These would work for every day, and even if you had a party.
Oh, absolutely. And you can see how nice they've come out, nice and firm.
So if there was less of the gelatin in, they'd be a little more wiggly, and the more gelatin,
They would. You can see that they're actually quite pliable now.
Yes.
The more gelatin, the more firm they will be, and the more chew you'll actually get from it, and you'll certainly get a different mouthfeel from that as well. But again, keeping in mind our objective for braces friendly, this certainly does qualify as that, and it is a great snack and a treat for everyone involved, whether you have braces or not. And today we've got a few of the pumpkin. Now we could certainly try some of the black cherry that we have as well. what we'll do is we'll just take our offset spatula. If you happen to have one, that's fine. If not, you can certainly use a knife and just run it around the edge.
This can be a little tricky, just getting it out.
Probably the most challenging of the whole project.
Oh yeah.
Getting it out of there.
Stirring with such a sweat.
And there you can see we've got our gummy surface right there.
Big red jewel.
And let's see.
Apple?
Absolutely. Let's do a red apple. About that.
Well, these are definitely a little thicker than the pumpkin.
They certainly are.
So you can make them as thick or thin as you want.
You certainly can. And as I mentioned earlier again, in the very beginning, if you have your candy molds, you could certainly use those as well. I tend to like them thicker because I like that textural mouthfeel that I get, that nice chew. That
I mean, you
get
could
when it's
even,
thicker.
like if you were having a party, like layer them up with the different colors. That'd be something fun. Or those shish kebabs. Instead of
Sure.
the junk food candy, you can have,
Sure.
have these instead.
You're only limited by your own imagination. So I can tell you if you can conceive it,
You can do it with gelatin.
you can do it with the gelatin. Very good. All right, there you are. That's our gummy candy. Again, braces friendly, and I hope you enjoy it.
Well, I'm definitely gonna try one.
Thank you.
Try the black cherry.
Mm-hmm.
And it does dissolve fairly quickly, so it won't get stuck in anywhere.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much. This is a great recipe.
It was a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, and tune into our next episode. And if you like this recipe and you want to see some others, go to bracesfriendlyrecipes.com. Keep smiling.